Philomena, that moment replays over and over in your head. The light glinting off the edge of the shield Foster gave you, thrown in a desperate attempt to buy yourself more time. To buy everyone more time. Shields are not an easy thing to throw, and you've already lost so much blood. Your opponent sidestepped it easily, and your stomach sank as you saw it go sailing off the cliff into the clear blue sky. How could such a dark day be so beautiful? Then he approached you with that condescending smile of his. So arrogant, so assured of himself. You can't let him win. You have to hold on just a little bit longer. You'll never forget the sound of your sword clattering to the ground. Never forget the feeling as he grabbed you around the neck, lifting you up like you were nothing. The thudding of his steps in time with the thundering of your heart as he walked right to the edge and held you over the vast nothingness. You expect the killing blow in any moment. Except it never comes. He simply lets go, leaving you no choice but to fall. And fall you do. Which it only takes seconds feels like an eternity as countless thoughts run through your head. The names of those you saved, the faces of those in the city you cared about. The bone-deep fears you realize you don't know if everyone made it to safety. All of this flashes through your head and more, punctuated by thoughts of Foster, the one you love most in the world, the one you would do anything to protect. Let her be safe. Let her be safe. Let her be safe. The river is fast approaching. It won't be much longer now. Foster screams your name with such anguish in her voice it almost makes your heart break. You twist around in the air just enough to see her. She's flying towards you, trying to reach you, though you know she will not get there in time. She is too far, and already she is under attack. Dodging arrows that force her to the ground, disappearing into the trees where you only hope they will not be able to find her. Let her be safe. Let her be safe. Let her be safe. The voice echoes in your mind, whispering that you are not alone. It's familiar, comforting. And then everything goes dark as you crash into the river's icy embrace. So the camera pans over to one of our new players, Korrin. It's been 2 or 3 days since the returning festival. It's always a big day of festivities, but things have calmed down and you've gone back to your normal day. What does your normal day look like? And also tell us what Korrin looks like.
Korrin is a kittykin, a catfolk of sorts, who is essentially a 5'6" panther, but with more of a torty pattern to their fur, wearing relatively simple garb, dark to blend in with the shadows of the forest, a naturalist by trade, who is pretty in tune with nature and has found the area. A normal day is really just wandering through the forest, gathering any supplies of interest, and seeing if it could feel the call and pull of Tybalt, one of the remembered gods, the god of the cats.
Wow. Because of course we have a cat god. So as you're doing your wandering, so you have felt the pull on the call of Tybalt before. That was how you found the fangs, and you feel a pull again, except for it feels a little different. You don't know why, you just feel like you need to go down to the river.
Just a little twitch of the whiskers. Well, my senses have never served me wrong thus far. Let's see what lies ahead.
And roll me a 20 just to make things interesting as you make your way to the river.
And just misses me completely. Oh, that would be awful.
Why would you even say that?
That depends entirely on the
Story
roll.
over! That was a short episode. Great, guys.
Thanks for coming, folks.
The dice have understood the assignment so far.
17!
Oh, look at that.
I was gonna say if you have an ability, but a 17 is a success as you follow this call. You traverse an area you have passed through before. You know what sort of pitfalls to avoid, how to not trip the root over a root and break your ankle, what areas to not wander into so you don't have to pick a fight with local wildlife, because even though you're a naturalist, that doesn't mean all of the wildlife likes you.
Sometimes you want to pick a fight with the local wildlife, though.
Yeah, that's fair. But you learned your way around, and as you get to the river, you see why you were called there, but it's not what you expected. You see this halfling armored. Not sure if they're alive, just on the riverbank.
Actually, not sure if they're alive is a good way for me to tell you that one of my abilities is Death Sense.
Okay.
Which means that for no AP cost, I can sense whether any remnants of the dead are nearby, just not positions. So, it is from necromancy path. So, there is that.
What does it look like as you attempt to check to see if this halfling is dead or not? What does Death Sense look like?
I imagine because Korrin is cat, there's a lot of smell involved of looking for any sign of decay that is of the fleshier nature than, say, just some vegetal remains and just like crouching down, slowly approaching, probably like one hand on the hilt of a fang just to be safe. And just slowly trying not to startle anything, like an unconscious halfling on the side of the river, just to check for a pulse.
As you sniff, the only death you smell is fish.
Lunch.
From what you can tell, this halfling is alive. Or at least not dead yet. They don't look great, though.
Well, little one, you'll have a story to tell. Let's see if we can get you back to the place where you can tell it. At this point, Korrin has probably had dealings with the local monastery, sort of roaming around the area. And it tends to be a safer place for those who are in a bit of a bad way. And while I have some mild healing skills, this is likely something out of my ability, so I can assist with it, but also this little halfling is small enough, I could probably just pick you up and carry you off. Not quite bridal style.
Probably, even with the armor.
Yeah, probably. You little.
Philomena's time.
Travel size.
Casey, roll me a 20. See if this wakes you up.
Yo.
Don't shake the baby.
Okay.
Right,
It's a
halfling.
16.
I'll say you do start to wake up. You aren't going to be able to stand or move on your own, but as you are being picked up, Philomena, you regain consciousness and your eyes flicker open, and there may not be a lot of catfolk in Springhelm. This is probably not the first catfolk you've run into, though. There's a little bit of everything everywhere in Trefos. But you don't recognize the person carrying you.
I feel like that should be their slogan. There's a little bit of everything everywhere.
Yeah. Well, when the war started, everyone just pretty much fled and then clustered together with whoever was fleeing in the same direction, so it became a bit of a melting pot. And then when everyone got to come back, it became even more of a melting pot, because they had other things to worry about. So it just, let's all work together, so maybe that the creatures that came out of this war don't kill us all. Because there's still some weird stuff out there. So Philomena, the last thing you remember Was Foster calling out for you and now you were staring up at this strange cat you don't know? Also, everything hurts.
Foss. Put me down!
Easy.
Let me go!
Easy there, little one. I mean you no harm. I'm simply getting you checked out. You seem to have had a bit of a time, as of late.
Where am I?
The nearest town is Gadborough, which is a little farming town. And about hour outside of that, probably about 30 minutes from where you are, is the Varisian monastery. Korrin, you would know that, because you live here. Even if you don't live in the town, you're familiar with it. Probably do some trade there.
I live anywhere the sun hits my fur. So anywhere the shadow doesn't touch.
Funny, you say that in the forest.
Have you ever heard of the town of Gadborough? I'm taking you to the monastery near there.
Have I?
Roll me a 20.
20.
Miraculously enough, you have. Because I think maybe someone that worked at the orphanage was originally from there, but they traveled around for a bit before settling in Springhelm. So you know exactly where it is. You've seen where it is on a map, even though it isn't usually labeled on maps. But your heart sinks because you are very, very far away from Springhelm.
What day is it?
It is today. We've just passed the returning. Damn it, Lex!
It's been about almost a week since the returning festival.
We are a week past the returning, whatever that means to you.
A week?
Yes. A week, 7 days, give or take. That's how I measure a week. I'm not sure about you. What is your name?
Gods above and below.
That's a strange name.
Yes.
Thanks, Brianna, for saying what everyone has said. Put me down. I can't go. I have to get back home. I have to.
Where is home? You seem in no way fit to go anywhere at the moment, if you don't mind my saying.
Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. If you can't make it to your destination, then what's the point of setting out?
The point is that my wife is still there, beset by soldiers, and I haven't been able to do anything for a week.
Wow.
You were also floating in the river for a week, and you didn't die.
I am ages away from Springhelm.
Do I know where Springhelm is?
Roll me a 20.
I knew you'd say that.
I also picture that as this conversation is going on, you are actively walking towards the monastery.
Well, I rolled a 3, so I'm very distracted right now.
You have no idea. You've never heard of Springhelm. It sounds kind of cute, though. It's a cute little name for a town.
I know of Spring, and I know of Helms. But I am unsure where Springhelm might be. Forgive me, I assume it's upriver, perhaps?
Almost on the opposite side of the map. It's not a particularly large map, but it's on the other side of the map.
Yeah, you could say it's upriver. You could say it's a week upriver. By river, I guess.
Well, it'd be a bit strange if you went by river as the crow. So, yes.
How did I drown?
If you've been floating a week...
I mean, I assume that's where you found me, right? This is weird, having a conversation while you're holding me. This is very weird.
Can you walk?
Maybe.
I'll let you try.
How generous.
Don't worry about it.
Forgive me, there won't downgrade it. Because you were floating in the river unconscious after getting your ass kicked for a week. You still have all of 1 hit point.
Thanks. Yeah. that is a 7, which is originally, what, a failure?
No, that would be a tough choice.
Yeah.
Downgrade to a failure.
Tough choice. Downgrade to a failure.
As they let you go, you just...
Drop like a sack of rocks.
Yeah, you now realize just how exhausted you are, because also you haven't eaten in a week.
Korrin's paws are just right there to catch them when they fall.
You barely stay conscious. Serious case of vertigo. And even you probably have to admit you're not doing well.
That sucked.
A valiant effort. Are you willing to accept help now, little one?
Willing is a strong word. I'm acquiescing.
If you'd like me to stop calling you little one, you could answer me. What is your name?
Oh. Philomena.
Philomena. Pleasure. They call me Korrin.
Korrin?
Korrin, not corn. There's no corn here.
I, have an accent. I'm sorry.
No matter. Now, can I be of assistance?
I guess. You said there was a safe place?
Yes. A monastery. Varazian monastery. It's about half of an hour's walk from here, at a steady pace, which I doubt will keep.
It's not like Philomena has much of a choice right now.
Yeah. Well, as just witnessed, I don't really have much of a choice.
You could ask for help, admit you need it, and then I could give it more willingly. Right now, I feel like I'm taking it from you, forcing help on you. I could leave you here.
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't get very far, though.
No. Take it from one who knows. Pride is a battle often not worth choosing. Doesn't stop me, but... Do we have a deal? Korrin's gonna hold out a paw.
With the hand that is not actively holding Philomena.
Yeah.
So that she doesn't fall.
Yes, please.
I love how there are questions. Yes, Lex?
Just figuring
no.
out the physics.
Yeah, I'm just like, are you reaching behind your head to shake their hand? Is that how you're carrying them? My brain imagined a piggyback scenario.
Oh, they had attempted to walk. I haven't picked them back up yet. It's fine. As you take Korrin's paw, you feel a little warmth flow into you, almost like you've had something of a rest, because I'm using Mend, which will restore 5 HP.
Hey, you have more than one now.
One
Hooray!
in 6. Lovely.
Yeah, you feel a lot better, but you still can't make it very far on your own. It'll take a while. You're freezing, you're starving, you're gonna need some time.
Now, little one, you'll find you get help a lot easier once you can ask for it. Stubborn one, aren't you?
That's always the complaint.
There. Little pat on the head.
Okay. There's a part of me that wants to hiss like a cat at you, but I don't want to be offensive, so I'm not going to do that. Please don't pat me on the head, though.
Very well. We're not friends enough for that yet. Just know, if you hiss, I hiss back. And one of us has claws.
I can't tell if you're flirting or not, but okay.
I was gonna say that too.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always am and not flirting.
It's a Schrodinger's flirting. It's only flirting if you're into it.
Yep. So, Philomena, do you ask for help?
Yeah, that happened like 3 minutes ago. Keep up, Brianna Jean.
Oh. There's been a lot going on.
If you'd like to travel in silence, we can travel in silence. I'm comfortable with it. But if you'd rather tell me a bit of your tale, like how one of your sword ends up in a river, I'm all ears. Or about 25% ears.
I got thrown off a mountain.
Off a mountain?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, when you're beaten to hell and the person is about 2 feet taller than you, you can't really stop them super great.
Fair. Or not, but...
How much do you know about the rumors of an army being raised and marching across the continent?
How much time does Korrin spend, like, around people?
Probably not too much. Or at least not many people. Like, if there's strangers or just little bits, and they're like, alright, I'm gonna interact as little as possible, and goodbye. But if the time and opportunity to get to know someone, it's like, oh, you're my person, I'm comfortable here. Alright. Just keep an eye out. Make sure that nobody tries to grab my tail.
So, give me a 20 and downgrade the result. Because it's possible, but
Ooh.
you're far away from where stuff is happening, near a small farming town, and you're not super social.
I rolled a 14, so downgrade to a tough choice.
You've either heard about it, but when the person told you, you weren't paying attention, so you don't know much. Or when you heard about it, it was from someone who didn't have the right information. So do you not know much, or do you have the wrong picture of what's going on?
Ooh. I'd say I wasn't paying attention.
I'm picturing it as someone that's like one of those like really, really talkative, bubbly people, and you were already like past the edge of your people quotient for the day. So as they were talking at you about the gossip about someone raising an army to do something, you caught the word army, thought that isn't something that's ever really existed, and I'm not entirely sure what that is, and just started tuning them out. And potentially even just like walked away. Because armies aren't a thing. There's guards, militia to deal with monsters, but full-on armies are not a thing.
Army, I'm more of a leggy cat. Sorry.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You get me, you get the dad jokes. There's no separating the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, there's this pompous, smug, irritating prick.
Okay, there's a person. Got it.
And he's gathered a lot of other people, and they are storming around the continent trying to wipe out the records of the old gods.
What?
Mm-hmm. He's trying to eradicate them. The gods who survived the war.
Men are going for the gods.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to destroy all knowledge of them, apparently. Because he seems to think destroying the knowledge will destroy them.
Interesting.
Because what gods did not survive the war, there was no record of who they were, what their names were, anything about them. There have been, like, this would be a relatively common knowledge, is there were some gods who did not make it, and so their documents were like, there's just pieces, like, sections where it's blank. Their names have been erased. The ones who remained, the people who found records of them, that's how people discovered information about Tybalt as well as his name. Meow. He's one of the ones that is starting to, like, come back and awaken. It's been a while, but some of those gods are starting to kind of wake up and come back. And they have a symbiotic relationship with their people. Some people are still a little iffy about it, but it's been long enough and the war hasn't kicked back up again, so they think it's fine. I don't know, how do you feel about the fact that there's a pompous, arrogant prick who's coming after your god?
Men who play at taking on the gods often see themselves as gods. And gods being gods is bad. Men trying to be gods is worse.
And he seems convinced that he's doing the right thing.
Of course he does.
Which is even doubly worse than that. Nothing worse than an asshole who thinks they're righteous.
Exactly. Those who think they have everything figured out have the most to learn. I wonder if some gods can teach that man a lesson.
I mean, why would you think that? All you have to do to realize how integral they are is to look at our world. The stars don't stay in place. The weather is a mess.
Yeah, I forgot. The stars move around in the sky. At this point, they move around in a pattern. There's a pattern and a rhythm to their movement. But yeah, the stars... The sky is weird.
Love that.
You can sit and watch the stars move in a pattern in the sky. But there's a rhythm to that pattern, so if you know the pattern, you can still find your way by following the stars.
Oh, Korrin is absolutely watched the stars at night.
Yeah, you're very familiar.
Little moving dots of light in the sky? Yeah, I'm interested. I'm gonna look at that. I'm not gonna try and jump on him, but...
Maybe occasionally, just when no one's around, just start spotting.
Just paw at it.
And of course, he wanted the records from the temple at Springhelm that my wife and I found. Dickbag. He's not gonna find them.
You sound confident.
There are 2 people in this world who are able to find the room where those records are hidden. Myself and my wife. He threw one off a cliff.
You.
And the other one watched him do it, yes. So, I can't help him, and she won't.
Curious.
It's not like he knew where they were.
So it seems to me you need to travel the continent to get back to this temple, or your wife, whichever is more important to you. I'm assuming your wife. Well, you're not going to do that in a week, and you're not going to do that in your state.
Yeah, I know you're right. Doesn't really make me feel better, but I do know you're right.
Besides, you've intrigued me somewhat. I would like to hear more of this army you speak of, and this asshole. I'm not a big fan of those.
I guess I really don't know much about them. Just rumors and what he smirked at me before he tossed me off a cliff.
Oh, now that's just rude. He thinks he's the protagonist in his own story. Ugh. Some people.
Yeah. And he called me a champion.
Well, are you?
I run an orphanage and do research in my spare time. Not really.
Sounds like a champion to me.
Does it?
Yes. You come to the aid of others who can't do for themselves. You're not too bad.
Thanks for the glowing recommendation.
Well, you're not gonna get much better on the first day. I hardly know you. You're very portable. I know that.
That's true.
You can see the monastery by this point, Philomena, even though you feel better. You're starting to get tired. You've been walking for 15 minutes and you feel like you're just about to fall over. And you usually spend most of your days running out around after children. So.
Is that it?
No, that's the Taj Mahal. It doesn't exist in this world.
Yeah, it does. It's canon now.
Oh, no.
What it is a different question entirely. But there is now a place somewhere in Trefos that is called the Taj Mahal.
It's just some guy.
It's a kebab shop.
So it's big, older building. In good condition. Doesn't seem to be much hustle and bustle around anywhere at all. Korrin, you know, there are 2 monks that are caretakers for this place. And they have a novitiate who's been there for like 2 months now. It's a large building, it's not a large operation.
Does it bear any resemblance to the Springhelm Temple? In, like, design, structure, or anything?
Odds or evens?
Evens.
It does. You spend so much time around that building, you know, like the back of your hand. This doesn't look like it has the same setup, created for a different purpose, but you catch, like, hallmarks of details in the design. It looks like it might have been made by the same person.
That's interesting.
What's interesting?
Just thinking out loud.
Yes, you do that.
It looks like home.
Like home. Well, yes, monasteries tend to feel like home to people, but how do you mean?
No. The design elements. Looks like the temple in Springhelm. Interesting.
A well-traveled architect, perhaps?
Maybe. Wonder if I'll have time to look for a secret room.
Secret room?
Like the temple at Springhelm. I wonder if this one has a room similar. It's not super important, but Foster would love it.
Foster. Is that your wife?
Oh. Yes.
Well, it's best you rest, and maybe have some sweet dreams. We can go hunting for secret rooms tomorrow. Come, meet everyone. It won't take long.
Oh. Sure.
Roll me a 20, Emily, to see how quickly you're able to find the 2 caretakers.
10. Tough choice.
Does it take you a while to find them? And by then, Philomena's ready to just kind of conk out of sleep. Or do the 2 of you get separated while you're trying to find them? It won't take as long to find the twins, but then you have to go find Philomena.
Separated.
Okay. So, Korrin, you're just walking along, going to all the places you've usually found them, and Philomena, what causes you to wander off or get separated?
I have a thing I want to say, but I don't know if... This is only if you allow it situation. A similar feeling to the one I had when Foster and I found the secret room when we were kids.
Yeah, like that pull to go, like, hey, there's a thing. If there's a thing in this room, there's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Odds or evens? Actually, no, high or low this time. Change it up a bit. There's a pointing war going on, dear listeners.
Hi.
So you do get this feeling like there's a thing over here. And you turn to follow it, thinking maybe there's a secret room, something important. And you just keep following it and eventually get to a point where there's a dead end, there's nothing around. You don't know if it was a phantom sensation or you just lost track of where it was pulling you because you're exhausted, but you're a little lost right now. And we leave Philomena very confused in a dead end as we pan back to Korrin.
Well, shit.
Well, there's only so many other places to check, so they've got to be here somewhere.
They're in, like, the third room you check. You see the two twin catfolk there. Both, like, jet black, identical twins. Nari tends to primarily wear, like, blues and greens, and Pesri wears purple. Just so you can tell them apart. Pesri does it because, like, purple also starts with P.
Ah, there you are. You'd think it'd be easier to find in this place. Nari, Pesri, there's a new person who needs assistance. They've been through quite the trauma. Philomena, these are the... Philomena. Hold on. There's another search to be had. If you see a halfling, that's the one. Just start retracing steps.
And they both follow you. Give me a 20 and upgrade it, because you have the twins who know this place like the back of their hand following you. Helping you to find Philomena.
Like the back of their paws.
Yes.
12, so success.
Yeah.
Here, little one. Here, girl.
You do that, and as you're back tracing, you find the spot where the wet footprints kind of veer off. And you just follow them through this twist of tunnels until you find a very confused, frustrated...
How am I still damp? We've been walking for like half an hour.
You were floating in the river for a while. You're still dripping enough to where they can follow you. And you see a very confused, frustrated, very tired looking Philomena.
Nah, she's sat down, she's against the wall, and she's like, asleep.
When I said rest, I didn't mean here.
When you're lost, stay in one place.
Be careful. I'm going to poke it. And just pull out a stick. Just a regular old stick. Like, literally just a stick from the ground. It's probably just caught in my pack and just... Hey. Hello. Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
How do you respond, Philomena?
I'm awake.
Wakey, wakey, little kitten. Let's get you into a bed.
Yeah.
You do know what those are, right? Bed, floor. Bed, floor. Do I need to explain?
I figured staying in one place was better than getting more lost.
You thought well. Good job. Remember that in the future.
At this point, Nari has left to go prepare the little infirmary for a guest. And to find a new gig. Hey, we got work for you to do. And you are escorted / partially carried to this little infirmary. You are the only person in there at the moment. There is this younger catfolk who's maybe a bit closer to like calico coloring. Doesn't look very similar to the twins aside from the fact that cat.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm gonna pass out now.
Okay, you do that. We'll take care of you if you feel this little paw patting your shoulder. Then he goes to bustle about to prepare stuff to help take care of you, because you don't look great.
No.
And it's a couple of days before you are steady on your feet, not having the dizzy spells. And I think this is a good time to, as we're montaging through it, introduce our other lovely character. Because it's at night. Haru has is asleep like 2 cots over. Philomena, you wake up from a nightmare about falling. And as you roll over, you see there's just this barrel sitting on the ground a couple feet away.
What the fuck? Was that there earlier? I don't think that was there earlier.
It just says punk bubbles on the side, and you have no idea what that means.
Is it dark? Is it night? What's the time like?
I'll say it's dark, but there's probably like a candle a couple feet away, so it's not enough light to keep you awake, but enough light to where if you need to get up, you are fine. And there's just this barrel.
Punk bubbles. What?
Currently, the barrel is just sitting there.
Philomena kind of rubs her eyes and like looks closer at it.
When you rub your eyes and they're closed for a second, when you reopen their eyes, the barrel's a little bit closer.
Jeez,
Yes.
that thing moved. No, it definitely says punk bubbles. What does that mean? I'm not taking my eyes off this, so I just... Haru!
What? Yeah, what? Is everything alright?
Do you take your eyes off the barrel at any point to call for Haru?
No, I just kind of keep looking at it, like, out of the corner of my eye, like...
I think what happens is you see the barrel fall over.
What?
Though Haru's awakened and come over. He's a like decently light sleeper, because you kind of have to be, but also kind of slept through the entire punk bubbles getting into the room. He only really wakes up to his name. What's up?
You got a moving barrel here? And I feel like it's looking at me, which doesn't make sense because it's a barrel.
Hey, punk bubbles. Do you think you've interacted with any of the people here in the monastery?
No, not at all.
No?
When the secret room was mentioned, my first thought was, I've been living in the secret room.
So I've just pictured that you've been just like bopping around, just like exploring the monastery. So as Haru comes over and looks at it,
I definitely leave around sometimes. They might have like seen the barrel, but I've been really good at being inconspicuous. Because I do have the feature disguise, where I can just spontaneously disguise myself with materials in the room, and all commoners automatically fail, but minions and bosses can investigate the disguise. So as far as the commoners are concerned, there's just a barrel.
so now question for you, odds or evens?
Odds.
Haru just looks at the barrel. So I thought I was just imagining it, that sometimes there's just like a barrel that feels like it shouldn't be there. I thought it was just maybe the twins moving things around. I don't know what's going on with... And he's going to very carefully approach.
The second that they start approaching, the barrel just starts rolling away.
What?
It just rolls out the room and like turns a corner and rolls away.
Also, another question. I'm assuming, Korrin, have you been staying in the monastery as well, just to kind of help out?
Probably occasionally, and so now since I kind of dumped someone on their doorstep, I imagine I'd at least stay the night and be like, okay, well, it's kind of my responsibility if something goes wrong and they rob you or whatever, or my bad.
Rolled funny to see if you wake up to this. As a barrel rolls past you.
Oh, please. 15!
So as you're sleeping, you just hear this methodical, rhythmic sound of like... You don't know why. It sounds like someone's moving a barrel around, except for there's not really any footsteps to accompany the sound until it sounds like people are running after the barrel, but there shouldn't be a barrel just randomly rolling around. So you wake up in time to see this barrel just roll by where you've been sleeping.
So I'm assuming like you're in a room and there's like an open door, right?
Yeah.
So the barrel rolls by, stops at your door, kind of turns, quote unquote looks at you, then turns back and keeps rolling away.
Yeah, just slow head turn. Well, that tracks. Just lays her head back down.
So what do you do? Or do you give chase?
No. It's like, are you alright? Why is there a barrel?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Haru says as he scampers after the barrel.
Well, it's interesting.
Good morning, Korrin. I have a barrel stalker. Bye.
What?
It was watching me sleep.
The barrel is going towards the secret room, I think.
Okay.
I feel like at this point, Korrin would probably just be kind of keep behind Philomena, keeping an eye on her. And is like, no, what are you doing? This is not bed rest. I said bed rest. This is not bed rest. This is the opposite of bed rest. This is barrel chase. Do I need to explain bed again?
But this is interesting.
Lex, you roll me a 20 to see if it's actually the secret room or maybe a room near the secret room.
12.
So you aren't actually staying in the secret room, but you're staying near the secret room. If there is a secret room, it's just like an unused room in a place in a part of the monastery not many people use or go into anymore.
Okay, then I just like live amongst the storage room with a bunch of other barrels.
So, give me another 20 to see if you get there first and have enough time to hide before someone catches up with you.
14.
You are able to get settled amongst the barrels before Haru scampers into the road. Where did it go? I think we have a problem. And then the rest of you come in and there's just a bunch of dusty barrels.
I think in their rush, Punk Bubbles probably like left something of theirs out. If you look around, I think you're just gonna see like a little like stick figure toy that's like someone handmade or whatever, just like on the ground.
Straw doll on the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess both of you roll me 20 to see who notices it. Or give me 20 as you are attempting to find this mysterious barrel.
13.
And Emily?
8.
You don't find it.
Korrin's probably just like going up and sniffing all of the barrels to see if anything seems off, while trying to sense anything dead.
Sneezing after each sniff because they're dusty. You just keep hearing these like methodical cat sneezes.
I hate dust.
It probably sounds absolutely adorable. But Philomena, you spot it doesn't fit that it would be here, and it also might have like it's got a little bit of slime on it. It's just this straw doll that seems vaguely slimy.
What the?
And this teeny little trail of slime that seems to point to a barrel.
Ugh. Check out the slime pull on that.
And you found a barrel that doesn't look as very dusty.
I'm gonna see if it says the punk bubbles on it.
I think as you look up, you see the top of the barrel just like close suddenly.
I mean, you can check, but I feel like that answers your question too.
Okay. I knock on it.
It knocks back.
Well, found the barrel.
What'd you find? Whatever's in here, I don't think it's dead.
Nope.
Well, I would say not, since it just rolled across the entire monastery.
Don't make assumptions.
And it just knocked back.
The lid slowly starts to open, like just lift up a little bit.
Hello?
Does Korrin smell anything unusual?
Smells like medicinal herbs.
Oh. Bitter.
Yeah.
Suddenly, while you're like looking through the top of the barrel, a weird appendage of some kind shoots out the top, grabs the doll, and shoots back into the barrel.
No.
Ugh.
Well, I suppose we know where the slime trail came from.
What is happening to this monastery these days? Hello?
Well,
Just tap a claw on the barrel a bit.
You do that, and then from the side of the barrel, through like a knot in the wood with like a small hole, another appendage comes out and slaps your hand away and goes back in the barrel.
I picture like you know how sometimes like when barrels have holes they have corks, but the corks are usually inserted from the outside, yours are from the inside,
Yeah.
so you can just like little pop and sometimes no. Back in. Pop.
Fascinating.
That is so unpleasant. Just licks their paw.
It tastes like medicine.
Are you sure you want to stick that in your... Nope, you're going for it. Okay.
Roll me a d4.
Oh, no.
Emily.
Me?
Or if you want to roll it, just roll a d4.
3.
I don't know if temp HP is a thing in this game, but I'm gonna say it's a thing. You now have 3 temp HP.
Woo!
And you're just like, wait, why do I feel healthier?
You good, Korrin?
It's just like the cat stink face. It's like... I'm conflicted on that matter.
Okay.
Have you ever had a bitter alcohol?
Uh-huh.
It's like that, but kind of nice. So it's like that.
I see.
I didn't mean to taste you, young creature. I just... fur. Slime. Fur.
Do you need to go find a towel?
The top of the barrel opens more, and you see an eye poking out.
Oh. Hello?
And also, you notice that the slime on your hand, it's kind of like hand sanitizer, where if you just leave it there, it just kind of slowly evaporates.
Just dissipates.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not quick, but it does that. But you see like a single eye popping out.
Hi, little guy. Who are you?
You see a second eye pop up.
Are they slightly cockeyed?
Who are you? What are you? Why are you? I have so many questions.
You see both eyes like extend out of the barrel to get a closer look.
Just lean back a little.
Well, that's uncomfortable.
And you look at them and they're like floating in a red liquid, like a red slime. And it's trying to make eye contact.
Do you respond to the who are you question?
Not yet.
Okay.
Can you speak? Oh,
Was that a yes or a no?
I don't know. Fascinating.
If anyone wants to roll to see if you could like puzzle things together, if you have, I almost said move, an ability that can help you figure things out.
You see from the side of the barrel the same appendage kind of pop out again, and the eyes kind of sink back in. They're still there, but not like doing like the eye stalk thing. Like a slimy hand holds out the doll again and goes, "Play?"
Oh, so you can speak.
You want to play? What sort of games do you play?
He just hands you the doll.
You want to play with the doll?
He pulls out another one.
Oh. Are these dolls friends? Are they enemies? Are they rivals? Sword fight? Do you want a sword fight?
Oh, it pulls out a knife.
Ah!
It's slowly turning green.
You know, maybe let's wait on that one. Let's play friends first.
Oh, knife?
Yes, that is a knife. It's a beautiful knife. I have one too, actually. I have several. Would you like to see one?
Oh, it pulls out another knife.
I see you are also a man of good taste.
Knife.
Yes, knife.
It sure is what.
That's a knife, and this is a doll, I presume. And you are you Punk Bubbles? That's
Punk
what the barrel
Bubbles.
says? Punk Bubbles.
Punk Bubbles.
Interesting. Do you enjoy bubbles? Fair. Very ephemeral. Well, I'm called Korrin, and this is a monastery, if you didn't know.
House.
House. Yeah, a fancy house. Some call them a house of God, but it depends on the god and the person.
Oh. From the bottom of the barrel, you see two little legs pop out.
Oh.
The barrel just lifts.
Yep.
Oh.
And you see these little slime feet.
That is a neat trick.
Little pseudopods.
What an interesting creature you are. Do you know what you are?
Punk Bubbles.
I shouldn't have expected anything else, really. That's on me. Yeah.
Is Philomena still visibly wounded?
Probably still, it started to heal, but she's still... There are bruises. She looks still looking a little thin. You haven't really gained all the weight back. She looks like she got her ass kicked, yeeted off a cliff, and then spent a week floating in a river.
Yeah.
PB looks at Philomena and just goes, hurt.
Astute? Yeah, a little bit.
I'm going to use heal.
Okay.
And you see the now green appendage reach over and just kind of wrap around an arm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll use 2 AP and it restores all of your hit points.
Oh.
And you're relieved of any short-term impairment. It's just kind of gross and slimy now.
You don't hurt anymore, but you still, I would say, still need to gain strength back. But you feel significantly better unless, you're about to fall over if you crouch down too far.
Huh.
I recommend against licking it. Just to be clear.
What about sniffing it?
Is this weird, Punk Bubbles? Can I call you PB? Punk Bubbles is a lot.
Okay.
Wonderful. Is it strange? Do people often sniff you?
Oh. Have you interacted with a lot of people? Seems like you are more likely to run based on limited interaction.
When you ask about how many people it's interacted with, it kind of just holds up 3 fingers. Quote unquote fingers.
Yeah, most people kind of get a little freaked out by the slime in a barrel.
Uh-huh.
Are you including us? Is Haru still here?
When you ask if it's including you, it adds 3 more fingers all in the same hand.
Ah.
Haru's just standing there, a couple feet back, eyes real wide, hair standing up a little bit. Haru.exe has stopped processing. Please try again later.
We need a wizard.
Being reminded of Haru, what thing of Haru's has PB just found around and hasn't returned yet?
So Haru, part of his job has been transcribing stuff, except for he lost his pen a couple days ago and hasn't been able to find it.
Okay, so when you guys point out Haru, this is probably very uncomfortable. So what you see is the appendage on the side of the barrel lift up the lid, reach into the barrel, and pull out a pen or like a quill or whatever, and just stretches to hold out to Haru.
Daintily takes it, thanks, and then just trying to nonchalantly shake all the slime off. Then he gets distracted, sniffing, like, what is going on right now?
Korrin advises against licking it.
Immediately
Okay.
licks it. Instantly licked it.
You see, he, like, just kind of pulls back. Okay.
How'd it taste?
Bad.
Uh-huh.
It's just like cough medicine, I think.
Just bitter.
Just tastes like Robitussin.
He stretches out another hand and just like sprinkles salt on it. Just has a salt shaker in there.
And it just dissolves right off. It's like... And then Haru asks, are there more of you in here?
No.
Okay. I didn't even know this room existed. We really need to clean this place out.
Clean.
Yeah.
You know, Punk Bubbles grabs Haru's hand with its quote-unquote hand. Haru's a he? Him? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, drags to like a corner, and Punk just goes, clean! And it's just a pile of shit that just like, it's just like moved out of the room into like a corner. Like, there's probably like a dead rat in there. It's like a literal mountain of dust and dirt. Clean.
Thanks. Alright, looks like he just wants to bolt from the room.
Can I tell he's uncomfortable?
Roll me a 20.
20.
You can tell he is not entirely sure what's going on right now, why you're showing him this pile of dead things.
Oh.
But you also, like, you get to feel like he needs time to process.
Putting together that the pile is what's making him uncomfortable, you just see the slime kind of extends from the barrel and just like absorbs all of it.
As you do that, you notice his attention has shifted from the weirdness that is you to it's like something on the wall next to him. He just, like, his focus has been drawn towards something and you can't quite figure out why.
I look at what he's looking at.
Can either of us tell that he's been distracted?
Philomena, roll me a 20.
Okay.
You have the best likelihood of catching the vibe.
Oh, we know the vibe.
That is a 15.
So, Philomena, when you look at Haru's face, even though it's a little harder to read, he seems to have that same expression on his face. The same feeling you and Foster got when you found that room.
Oh man, it's been an age since we did this part. Was there a sequence or was it just like a stone that you had to push a certain way? I don't remember how we got that open.
So there was a sequence and you just knew it.
Is there a spot that I could try that same thing?
You can look and try.
I would like to do that.
And I'll say, there's some of you do notice, like, that Haru seems to be, like, focused on something on the wall. Like, he's maybe almost like he's looking past it. Actually, I forgot. Korrin, roll a 20 to see if you can also piece together what's happening, because I kind of forgot how you got the fangs. You might recognize this as well. You might also know a little bit more because you read a lot.
14.
You also can tell just by the look on his face. You think there's something calling him. Same thing you felt. You weren't even looking for the fangs when you found them.
Haru, what does your soul hear? There's something in there.
I poke him in the face.
Yeah.
That.
So is there anything, like any symbol on the wall that would constitute some sort of monument or anything at all?
So I'm going to decide whether it's going to be odds or evens while the two of you roll to see if you spot whatever it is, if there is something.
5.
12.
Korrin, you don't see anything. Philomena, as you're looking, you think it takes you a second to find around the spot, and it helps when Haru starts walking towards it, but it seemed to be the faintest sign of, like, seams, like there's a doorway.
There's a door here.
I think PB starts turning yellow in excitement.
Are you following after?
Yeah, I'm just watching like, this is interesting. This is intriguing.
Well, you did say something about a secret room.
I sure did.
So how do we get in?
One at home is a sequence. I can try it, but I'm not seeing a path that would line up with that one, which makes some form of sense. Why have a door if you're going to make all the locks the same?
Haru, you're the one being called. Why don't you give it a try?
He hasn't taken his eyes off the spot on the wall. He walks up to it and just touches these stones in a sequence that doesn't fit what you did, Philomena, but he's perfectly confident in what he's doing. And just the door swings open. And you see a room. It's a 5-sided room. The 4 sides that you can see from here have doors. And there is a box in the center. Looks like it has a spot for 3 different keys to go in. I mathed wrong. There's 3 doors. It's a regular 4-sided room.
You know, close enough.
Well, this is interesting. Haru, what you feeling, buddy?
I think this place used to be more than just a monastery, and his eyes are now locked on the box. And I think if we open that box, we can unlock a thing that kept us safe. I think the 3 of you will need to find the keys, because there's something else. And he looks up, and you see this, what looks like an automata on the ceiling. Seems to be glitching and malfunctioning slightly.
You see the weird little goblin slime thing? I meant to say barrel. I meant barrel.
Goblin in spirit, not in appearance.
The barrel slime thing is, you look around, it's already across the room, going to a door.
Yeah.
It has not looked up.
That's probably for the best, Sinhar says. Keys are through the door. You open the doors, that thing activates. I can keep it busy while you unlock the boxes. This'll be fun. He's like wiggling back and forth. His little tail is doing a happy wiggle. Looks like a cat that's about to pounce.
Keep it busy. This'll be fun. Oh my.
I opened the door if it's unlocked.
And this automaton drops down, and he's just like, you two get the other doors, I've got this. And he just jumps back into the room, and the automaton follows him.
Well, better get going, shall we?
Yep.
Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. And,
I'll take the
Korrin
last.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Punk Bubbles. The door you open, it opens to a room that appears to be flooded. Except for there's like something on the other side of the wall that looks like it has a key on it. Korrin, the door you open, there's no floor. There are just these like wooden platforms and pillars that you would have to jump between to get to. There's a spot on the other side where you also see a key. And Philomena, you see it just looks like an empty room with a key on a pedestal in the middle.
Well, that's suspect.
And there is writing on the wall that says, "Watch your step, lest ye burn."
Oh, good.
So, Punk Bubbles, how do you get to your key?
So you said it's a flooded room, and then there's a key just like in the middle of the water?
Something on the other side has the key on it.
I just kind of step into the water, and I think the barrel's just buoyant.
Roll me a 20 as you attempt to swim your barrel over to the other side of the key.
2.
I'll imagine you've all stepped into your rooms this time. Punk Bubbles, you get like 2 good paddles in before something grabs you and yanks your barrel underwater.
Oh, I'm just a little guy.
Oh, Punk Bubbles.
As you poke your eyes out, there's this tentacle that is pulling you down. What do you do?
I pull out knives.
Are you going to attempt to just like stab it until it lets you go?
Oh, of course, yeah. I'm just gonna stab the shit out of it.
Give me a 20.
Yeah, Punk Bubble just turns like blood red and just starts stabbing. Oh, that's an 8.
Oh.
Oof. Tough choice. You either do damage, but you lose your knives, or you get but it doesn't do enough damage to get it to let you go.
I'm gonna keep my knives. I like my knives. Granted, I can always find more knives, but, you know.
As this is pulling you down towards potentially a maw, you don't know what's down there. Also, you're not entirely sure if you need to breathe. This is a new thing for you.
Yeah, no clue.
So, do you keep the knives or do you get away?
I keep the knives. Mine.
Okay. So you get in a couple of good slashes and it's still pulling you down. It's almost like the grip tightens around the barrel a little bit.
Is it breaking my barrel?
Not yet, but it might soon.
This will not stand.
I don't know if you have any abilities that would help in this.
No, I have 2 things I can do. I can hide and I can heal. That's what I got. So I stab it again.
Give me the roll.
It's a 1.
No! Oh, catastrophe.
I hate to do this so early in the game, but not only do you fail, your barrel starts to crack as it grips tighter.
That's fine. Not the barrel.
Oh, immediate L from Punk Bubbles.
I refuse to change my D20.
You get one more attack before this thing either destroys your barrel or tries to eat you.
Okay.
Get him! Get him!
20.
Hey!
Woo!
It rolled
There
under
we
my
go.
keyboard. I was like, oh no.
The suspense.
So what does this final attack look like as you get this thing to leave you alone?
Oh, way more appendages than y'all saw. Just like so many. Each one's holding a knife. And just like multiple stabs all along the tentacles. Like, let me go.
Like a chainsaw of tentacle knives.
Yeah.
The camera zooms out to above the water. You see these bubbles. And then the barrel pops up with a severed tentacle. And you are closer to where the key is. So you poke your little eyes out and you can see the key is a lot closer now.
Yeah. I reach into the barrel, pull out just like an oar, and start paddling closer.
We've got hammer space the barrel.
So, I did genuinely pick up an ability, Blink Pack. It is a magical messenger pack with a hit. The bag's mouth turns into a portal to a shadow plane where secret objects may be stored. This allows you to exceed the pack limit. So, just whenever I succeed, I'm just gonna draw something random out of the bag, I think. But the bag's like in the barrel, so it just looks like I have infinite space in the slime.
Yeah, okay, so you're not pulling it from your existence. Got it.
Yeah.
Because we talked about you basically being a sentient, slimy bag of holding.
But then I saw there was an option for an actual bag of holding, so I'm like, yeah, okay.
Okay. So that I won't make you roll to get the rest of the way across to get the key, and also, you just slice this thing's tentacle off. It is not inclined towards eating you.
Okay,
So
but I start absorbing the tentacle.
It's a nice, tasty snack.
Trophy.
Nice.
And so you paddle across, grab the key, put the key somewhere safe, paddle back, and by the time you get to the back, the tentacle is gone. Your barrel could use some repair, but there's probably something.
I want the tentacle to still be there, and I'm eating it when I walk in the room.
You've absorbed most of the tentacle, but there's still like a good chunk of tentacle just sticking out of the barrel.
Yeah.
And in the distance, you could hear this like clanking, clattering sound as Haru is keeping the automaton busy. And we go back a bit to Korrin. Let's hope your agility works well for you.
Let's hope. I feel like just opened the door, saw this, and like, oh, wow, great. Child's play. And just started jumping onto the platforms.
Unless you have an ability, give me the 20.
I do not. That I know of. But not that would directly help at this moment, which is too bad because that's a 2.
You misjudge that first jump and you fall down, but give me another 20 to see if you can get your claws into the pole.
Yeah, I got too cocky.
Or use the fangs. You could try and use the fangs.
I feel like at that point, I'm just be like, this is child's play. Jump. Never mind. Just cat hanging off curtains. I made a move and I failed. I got another 2.
You get the claws in, but it's like, just keep sliding down and down. What are you gonna do? You don't know how far down this goes. You don't know what's at the bottom.
This is adorable.
I've got this! Then your screeching noise.
Yeah, just this slow, agonizing. It's like, really? Really? You're an adult, and this is what you do.
So let's see if you can climb up it.
I'm assuming the wood of these platforms and such is just thoroughly dead. No living wood left.
High or low?
Low.
What was it, 12? Yeah.
Darn. Yeah, at that point, I would probably pull out the fangs and try and rock climb up the pole.
Give me another roll and upgrade because you're using the fangs.
Okay. No more 2s. 18! There we go. There's the rest of that.
Nice! So with the help of the fangs, you're able to get to the top of the first pole.
Like, nobody saw that, right?
Nope. No one saw it.
We all still think you're cool, Korrin.
Yeah, little paw behind the ear. He's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's cool. I meant to do that.
Now, can you actually land on the next 3 you need to land on to get to the key?
Now, that's a great question. 16. I believe in me. Yeah!
So, I'll say this time you take a little extra time to make sure you've got the jump lined up correctly. Maybe
Test the wind.
Get a little momentum going. Have the fangs out just in case you need to catch on. But after that very harrowing fall, you're able to make it to the other side and get the key. Now you have to make it back.
Just throw the key into the other room. That couldn't possibly go bad. No.
Tink, tink, tink.
Oh, let me see how deep this goes. I don't hear anything. 13.
You learned your lesson, and you're able to very carefully, very slowly get back. You come back out, and I'll say Punk Bubbles has probably been out for, like, out of the water for a couple of seconds. So you see this dripping barrel with the tentacle hanging out of it that's just slowly being slurped in. That's
Disgusting.
Yeah, this is normal.
I forgot I was muted.
Good, you got your key. It was easy.
Philomena, how do you approach?
Oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. Okay. I'm going to examine the floor, because the wall said to look at the floor. Careful on the floor.
Give me a 20, see what you find.
14.
So, as you look, you're looking for any differences, and
Yes.
you do spot what looks like... It's like a section where the stones seem to be a slightly different color, maybe? So a slightly different color, and then around it, you catch the faintest sign of what looks like heat ripples coming off of it, perhaps, of the other stone. Carefully wave your hand over that. You can feel heat coming off of some of it.
But not others.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and very carefully step on only the ones that aren't hot.
I just realized I accidentally made a room where the floor is lava.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it.
We were all thinking it, but, you know, I was in the moment.
Give me a 20 and I will let you upgrade, because you do you know more or less what you're looking for.
Okay. That's a 9.
So that would be a tough choice, but it's upgraded to a success.
Oh, thank God. I forgot about the upgrade. There's like a moment where I'm not sure if my legs are going to be long enough to get to the next one.
But then you just stretch your leg around and you find oh, there's actually a spot over here that's not, and you're able to kind of hop around. You're able to get to the key. Now, give me a 20 to see if you can find your way back.
Okay. 12.
You are able to find your way back. Imagine there's a couple moments where you land and you wobble and you feel like you're gonna fall onto one of the hot rocks. A couple moments where you step a little closer, you can feel the heat on the side of your foot, but you don't set anything off and you're able to get out with the key.
This is so much less fun than our library.
And you see a slightly floofed out looking Korrin who is slowly starting to unfloof. And Punk Bubbles with a tentacle being slurped inside. And you'll come out around, more or less, kind of around the same time.
Oh.
Keys?
Key.
Cool.
And then you hear this crashing sound outside. Ha! Got it! And Haru comes in with the key.
Good job.
That was fun.
Okay.
Shall we?
Let's unlock this thing.
It just runs right on over and just kind of starts jamming the key into the different locks to see what does what. See if it works.
Yeah, we'll roll a d4 to see how many tries it takes.
4.
You try everyone, and then you get to the last one, fourth, and it just click goes in.
No.
Okay, so the keys aren't all the same.
No.
I'm gonna try the one that's facing the door I came out of.
And it goes right in.
Huh. Well, I suppose that would make sense. Haru, shall we? And Korrin's just gonna go up and put the key in. Still hold it.
Haru slots the key in and says, I think we need to do this at the same time. We should probably also hurry. Points behind him and you can hear this, like, clacking noise. I got the key. It's still active.
Oh, right. Silent 0 at the end of a 3 count. 3, 2, 1.
Turn.
Turn. And there's this click and a faint humming noise. And the automaton, you turn, you see it standing in the doorway, and it just straightens.
Oh, hello.
It waves back.
Oh.
And then goes back to its... I always knew there was something more to this place.
Sure you did.
This is very interesting.
Does the box open?
Nope. It looks like it might have been more of a cube than a box. But the keys activated something. You can feel magic and power of some kind radiating around.
Oh, yeah, no. PB does not accept that and starts slapping it, going, open.
Hi, Mr. Automaton, I guess? What just happened? Can you show us?
It steps kind of back from the door and gestures like it wants to, like, show you the way.
Okay.
Can I pick up the cube?
No. You can try.
Okay. Sure, I give it a go.
You just stay there frantically trying to pick up the box to see what's inside. I'm guessing just everyone else follow the automaton to see what's going on.
I feel like I try so hard, the appendage just like kind of rips off and I fall backwards.
Oh.
And I stand back up and go, oh. And then just reattach them.
Just reabsorb. You also still have a little bit of the tentacle being slurped.
Careful, friend. It looks like your barrel has a little damage.
It has a couple cracks in it.
You hear a high-pitched squeal I can't do come from Punk Bubbles when you point out the damage.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Ow. Make it stop.
It takes out a bandage, like a Band-Aid. And just like puts a Band-Aid on it.
All better.
Oh, that's adorable.
It is now like a deep magenta color and just kind of walks with you sadly.
Oh, baby.
Just an awkward little pat on the back of the barrel. It's like, there. It's okay.
And you follow the automata outside and you can see you hear the sound. It sounds like there might be others elsewhere that are coming to life. And as you step outside, there's this sort of just shield emanating around the monastery. Nari is standing out there staring at it. Tail has just kind of gone a little like flat and shocked and it's like, okay, the stories were not exaggerating.
Stories? What stories?
There were legends about this place that it could protect and some other things that my brother and I discovered recently. We've been trying to translate with Haru's help. Haru's been a great help, but I think this place might have used to be something else. And then he turns and sees the still slightly malfunctioning, but now behaving automaton. Where did you find that?
I'm surprised that's what you asked about first, and not the walking barrel.
Hello.
As you speak up, just jumps, hair sticking up like shocked Kelly.
I forgot I was sad. Hello.
What is that? What are you?
This is Punk Bubbles.
The caretaker. What random thing of the caretaker have I found around?
A little locket.
I walk up and hand them a slimy locket.
He takes it and high or low?
Low.
As he takes it carefully and opens it, you see there's a folded up piece of paper inside and it looks like there's not gotten any slime on. He's like, okay, it's good. And carefully takes it out with the hand that's clean and tries to like wipe the slime off before putting it back. Because
I take out the salt shaker again and kind of just like shake it on the locket.
he's like, oh. And thank you for returning this. Did you take anything else?
It looks like it's in thought. Do I admit to this?
You wouldn't happen to have found any of the other things that have gone missing recently, would you?
No.
They did give Haru a pin earlier.
Reaches in. Left shoe. Water skin. An unopened bottle of wine.
I was wondering where that went.
Whatever the currency is, like $50 worth. And then just a baguette. Wasn't theirs. I just have that.
You can keep that.
Okay.
Thank you for finding these things and returning them to us. Picks up all the vaguely slimy stuff off the ground.
Slowly puts baguette back in barrel.
I bet that baguette would have gone great with that tentacle.
Oh.
Next time.
You hear this soft slurping noise from the inside.
For the sake of the viewers, I'm not gonna make those, even though I really want.
Thank you.
Please don't do that to me.
I desperately want to make gross slime noises, and I'm choosing not to.
Please don't do that to me.
Yeah, your editor appreciates it.
Otherwise, Punk Bubble's barrel might fall off the side of a cliff and never be seen again. No! I wouldn't actually do that.
Instead, Punk Bubbles shows up later in a giant shell that just found on the ocean floor.
Remember me!
How could we ever forget?
So, after a rather eventful night, the rest of your stay is a little quieter. They politely make you stay for a couple of days, Philomena, to get your strength back, because it took you a while, but with your friends' help, you are able to recover. Haru and Pezri help make some repairs to your barrel, Punk Bubbles, to like fix the little broken bits. So you now no longer have holes aside from your little armholes and your little leg holes.
I think what PB does is goes to the room with all the barrels, finds the best looking barrel, smashes it to use the pieces.
That's amazing.
Yes!
I love that. So there's just this barrel of like very, very finely aged wine. Just splashes all over the ground as you shatter it and use the pieces to repair your barrel.
They still drink the wine, or at least like absorb it.
Can Punk Bubbles get drunk? Roll me a 20.
I don't know. I figured it's just like in it somewhere.
Yeah, there's just this giant bubble full of wine somewhere in the middle.
13.
Do you want Punk Bubbles to be able to get drunk, or do you just absorb the wine to spit out at people later?
I'm gonna spit it at someone later.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? If we're hanging out for a few days, at some point when y'all just hanging out, you look away and you look back and there's a thing of wine there.
Yeah, you finished a bottle, and then suddenly the bottle is full again with a very different wine that's actually really good.
Wait a minute.
You hear the ominous rolling of a barrel.
So, what do y'all do? What do y'all talk about over the next couple of days?
Definitely, Philomena, when you're resting, now that people are aware of PB's existence, they walk into the room. Hello.
Oh, hi.
You see them like walk by. It has like mortar and pestle of like medicinal herbs they kind of like found, and then you see you walk up, take the herbs out, throw the mortar and pestle, and just like kind of take the herbs into the slime, and you see them like turn into like some kind of something, and just like spits it into a glass and holds it over you.
Do you drink it?
Yep.
What does it do?
I don't know. I don't have a move for that.
Roll a 20.
2.
Ooh.
So, they were gonna let you go today,
Oh no.
but you get kind of sick
Ugh.
and have to stay an extra 2 days.
God.
Because you can't hold stuff down for the rest of that day. And so instead of having to stay for like 2 days, you end up having to stay for 4 before they'll let you leave.
Punk Bubbles, I appreciate you trying, but no more mystery potions, okay?
Oh, okay.
As you have been hurling into Traphos' equivalent of toilet. It's magical fantasy world. I'm just gonna say it. They have some version of indoor plumbing that's decent. And this place does have, like, a collection of automata that help with the maintenance and the upkeep. And, you know, this place could be used to help protect a lot of people in the tiny little farming town that's like an hour away. If the warlord ever does make it this far. But you also have some time to come up with a plan for where to go next. And as you're looking at a map trying to figure out the best way to get home, your eyes keep getting drawn towards this other place. You can't escape the feeling you need to go to Haven's Reach. That's where you need to be. And Haven's Reach is this town up in the mountains near the site of what was believed to be the last battle in the war between the gods. It is a place where many temples were discovered, a lot of information is placed there. It feels important. You just get this feeling that you need to go there.
Okay. So I'm gonna do something before I leave. I don't know if it will help, but I'm going to try it.
Okay.
I'm going to use my ability Sigil. It costs 2 AP, and I am going to draw a circle within a circle. And that's the sigil for repel. And I'm going to try and use the sigil for repel against, and I'm going to draw it with my mind on the army and the leader of the army. I'm going to try and keep this place safe.
So is this something that, like, works for a small place? Can it works for large place? What's the ability description?
I don't know if I can use it, actually. Let me...
Yeah, you draw a sigil on an object. Spell lasts until you cancel it or cast sigil again. You only cast it if no enemies are currently nearby. Choose a specific creature or a type of creature. Draw a circle. Piece of paper. Draw the creature that will be affected by the spell inside the circle. Alternatively, instead of drawing something, you may describe with sound, smells, or whatever. And you pick one of 4 effects. Lure, repel, alert, message, and I think you said repel?
Mm-hmm.
Creatures who come nearby won't move closer to the sigil or may turn back.
I don't know. Roll me a 20.
Catastrophe.
As you draw this sigil, drawing on the power of your god, whose name you still... You know they have a name, you just don't know it yet. Drawing upon this power, and you feel it starting to take effect. And then it's like something else comes in, and you see the circles you've drawn just sort of shatter and fracture, and it may have drawn someone's attention to this place. But you do know he is far away, at least. But you know it didn't work. And it might have drawn some unwanted attention. But you feel like it's more attention drawn towards you than the place, maybe? So it's one of those, you need to move. You need to get away from here.
Yep.
So, one day you pack up to leave.
Yep.
And Korrin and Punk Bubbles, you notice that Philomena is getting ready to leave for somewhere. She is now strong enough to be able to travel on her own. She'll be okay, but what do y'all do?
Going so soon?
Yeah. I need to go.
I'm sure they'll be happy to have you back home once you reach it.
It's probably going to be a while. I need to go to Haven's Reach.
Haven's Reach? What for?
It's the largest community of believers with the largest informational network on the gods. If there's anywhere he'll go to try and destroy records, it's going to be there.
Information on the gods? Really?
It's where the most temples are located.
Korrin, roll me a 20. See what you know about Haven's Reach. Where is my dice roller? 3! Never heard of it. Hey, Punk Bubbles, roll me a 20. See if you know about Haven's Reach.
1.
Never heard of it.
Head empty, no thoughts.
Well, I will say, Korrin, you've seen it on a map. You know it's a place that's on a map, it's in the mountains. But anything you know about it is only what can be gleaned from a map.
You said they know about the gods, have information?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at this point, Korrin's probably just like casually picking at their claws, chewing at them a bit, trying to look blasé. It's like I'm not curious.
Probably not playing it off very well.
Yeah. Those are the rumors, at least. They found a bunch of temples. It's supposed to be the last site of battles during the war. If anywhere has a solid informational hub, it's going to be there, which makes it a target.
And I suppose you're foolishly planning to travel there on your own and take on this mighty task to save the people or whatever. Mighty champion fighting solo.
God. I don't know, but I'm being called there, so time to follow.
If it would make you feel better, I could perhaps come with you for a while, see if it's anything worth my time to keep an eye on you, make sure you don't go off any more cliffs or anything. If it wouldn't be too much of a bother.
No, I'd welcome the company, if you're willing to provide it.
Well, I perhaps may be interested. Thank you. I, too, would like more information about the gods. Or at least one of them.
Among other things.
Alright.
And Punk Bubbles, how do you react to maybe, like, do you wander in this conversation, you hear your besties chatting?
Aww.
He's listening in from, like, around the corner and, like, holding a really intricate and, like, filigreed flute in their hand and is thinking to themselves, "Will I go with them? Is this my chance to finally no longer be alone? Can I be more than just punk bubbles? Can I do something good? Can I make a difference? And then the little barrel guy waddles over and goes, okay.
Are you coming too?
Yeah.
Splendid.
I'm pretty sure Korrin is the biggest of the two of you.
Yeah.
Considering Punk Bubbles is going to like walk up to Korrin and just like jump on your back and like turn itself into a backpack.
So you have these like just the slime
Yeah.
wrapped around your shoulders.
You know how sometimes cats just freeze? It's like that. Just immediately like, it's touching me. It's touching me. I brain stopped working. In the okay.
I really don't know what to do about this situation, I'll be entirely honest.
What situation? The travel situation or this situation?
The Punk Bubbles situation.
Well, they seem pretty self-sufficient. They can find their own food.
I'll say the monks do provide you with food and like you get some like rations and stuff from the town.
Does Korrin still have the little straw doll, or did Punk Bubbles take it back?
That is entirely up to you.
I feel like Korrin still has it. And just pull it and like, play?
Whoa.
We'll play later.
Okay.
Alright. You have a long journey to get to Haven's Reach ahead of you and some interesting friends to join you along the way. Thank you for listening to The Rise and Fall of Gods, and stay tuned to find out what happens next. If you don't want to wait, you can get early access to this and all of our other shows by supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial. The Rise and Fall of Gods is a Quest actual play DM'd and produced by Brianna Jean, featuring Casey Glover as Philomena, Emily as Korrin, Lex as Punk Bubbles. Rise and Fall of Gods is part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network changing reality one story at a time. If you enjoy our show, please leave us a review on your preferred podcasting platform and tell your friends about us. To find out more information about this and our other shows, check out our website at pseudonymsocial.com.